friends, and welcome back to my homestead. Today we're back in the kitchen. I've been blessed with 40 pounds of fresh tomato, and we're eating fresh and when it's in season, and we're so blessed by it. But right now they are so overripe that I need to process them quickly, and there is no time to waste. So what's my motto? When in abundance today, preserve for tomorrow, or save for tomorrow. So we are gonna be making, I'm gonna be making the sauce for winter, jarring the sauce. Now I have another video that I make tomato sauce where I use onions and garlic and spices and bunch of herbs and white wine, and that is a complete ready to serve tomato sauce. And I love it. My kids love it because it takes all the thinking out of it, right? They just boil some pasta or prepare something quick, pop the jar open, and boom, dinner is done. But this sauce that I'm making is a very basic recipe, very basic. There's nothing to it. So I actually took this recipe from my old canning book, and it's a Ball blue book about guide to home canning, freezing, and dehydration. Now it is from 2001, and I hope that the safety still stands because I am going to be using just very basic ingredients. I'm going to use tomato sauce. I'm going to be using a little bit of salt. I will throw in a little bit of fresh basil just because I have so much basil and I love basil. Who doesn't? And I'm going to be using a little bit of fresh lemon juice to top off each jar to make it more acid. Why? Because I'm going to be using a water bath canning, and a water bath canning requires more acid. Because if it's a low acid food, it will require pressure canning, which I'm trying to avoid today. It's another hot, humid day here in southern New England, and I just want to get this done. So let me show you how I'm going to be preparing this sauce for winter. You guys ready? So I have washed my tomatoes in 3 separate waters just to make sure they're all clean. And then I put them on a pot on a stove for about half an hour to 45 minutes, continuously stirring because I didn't want anything to burn at the bottom. And I wanted them just to soften up a little bit because that's going to be much easier. See, they're much softer now, almost breaking down. Because now, and please excuse me, my machine looks a little messy, because I am using my food processor to separate skins and seeds, to separate it from the juice. And I had already made these 2 gigantic big bowls of juice that I will be processing later on a stove. So that's what I use. Some people choose to use skins and seeds. I don't like it. I like it clean. So that's why I'm using this little machine. But yes, I find that if I soften my tomatoes first, that the process is much cleaner and the juice is less watery. So because see, a lot of water is remaining here when I soften them up. All right, so let me show you how I do this. So after I have crushed them and removed all the seeds and all the skins, I'm putting it back on the stove, on the fire, and I'm gonna cook it probably for, actually I'm gonna eyeball it and see, because I want this to reduce close to half because I want the sauce to become nice and thick. And I'm going to be putting a little bit salt and a little bit of basil into each jar before I actually can it. So let's keep an eye on this, and I'm going to stir this once in a while because I don't want it to burn on the bottom. So yeah, so this is gonna be our plain sauce without anything except for a little bit of salt and a little bit of basil, because everyone needs a little basil. Okay, so the sauce is complete. It has reduced probably by 1/3, and at this point I'm going to be pouring them into the sterilized jars with about 1/4 inch of headspace. Each jar I'm going to be topping off with first I thought I'm going to put lemon juice, but then I realized I don't have enough lemon juice, because each jar would require 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I'm like, oh goodness, I don't have that much. So instead I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoon of citric acid into each jar. And I'm also going to put 1/2 teaspoon of salt into each jar and 1 fresh leaf of basil. And then I'm going to process everything in a water bath for 45 blessed minutes. Good Lord have mercy. That's what the blue book, Bald Blue Book said to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So in the meanwhile, I'm just going to keep filling up all of the jars. So I'm going to process this for 45 minutes in a water bath canner, and it was so hot in my kitchen that I've decided to take it outside on my porch and do it on the side of the grill. But yes, make sure that the boiling water covers it with about 1 inch on top of the jars, and keep the lid on for the entire time. 45 minutes of processing. I know it sounds like a long time, but friends, this is a simple, very simple sauce, and I hope you are encouraged to make your own sauce at home and learn and try something new.